here has seen the movie before? Woo! All you people in the back are experiencing it for the first time? Yes. Oh my God. Yes, you guys are going to have the most fun of anybody in here tonight. I promise. And tonight we have a very special guest with us. We have the woman without whom this movie would not exist. She did not make this movie, it would not exist. It's as simple as that to say. We have Anita Rosenberg with us here tonight.
Go ahead.
I want to thank you for coming down, and I want to know how this movie came about. I think you had a story that you pitched around town, or?
Yeah, I'll tell you, by the way, thank you, Phil, very much for calling me and having the screening. And I heard Scott was responsible for having the screening.
I think it's our good friend Scott's birthday.
Happy birthday! And the Modern Girls fan club is here. Jenny Day came on from San Diego. Yeah.
Ask him when he's putting the movie out.
Yeah, put the movie on DVD.
Keep selling because I think I got $30 last year for my residuals. $15 the year before. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. I kind of want to just tell you a little bit about how the movie came about. I had gone to NYU Graduate Film School. I was in school with Spike Lee. He was in my class. And my thesis film was Bachelorette Pad. It had Barbie dolls that came to life. It was kind of a kooky film. And I came out to Hollywood. And I had this idea of a movie called Party Girls. And Party Girls was going to be like the mystery dream date game. And, you know, like you spun the door and got your mystery date. And I built a game. So I would go to these pitch meetings with this 3-tiered game in a box. They thought I was kind of crazy. But I was trying to think outside the box, I guess. And I got a lot of interesting reactions of people. They just didn't get what I was trying to do. And then I finally had a meeting with Tom Coleman, who owned Atlantic Releasing. And Atlantic had done Valley Girl, which is one of my personal favorite films. That's a movie I can watch over and over and over again. I love Valley Girl. And Tom liked the idea that all of a sudden, so he said, I'm going to make this movie with you. And then all of a sudden, he's reading Playboy. And there's an article called Modern Girls in it. And the article was about girls going to nightclubs in LA. And it was interesting, that was kind of the story of my life at the time. It was the mid-'80s in Los Angeles. And I was part of that nightclub scene. A lot of my friends that I knew from New York had started clubs like Power Tools and the different clubs we were talking today about. We were going to Dirt Box. And the clubs that kind of always changed. It was a different night of the week, was a different club. And then if it got raided, all of a sudden the club would be over and you'd have to scramble really quickly for your jacket or your coat or something like that. So Tom came back to me and said, I'm not going to do Party Girls. We're not doing a game, but I'll do your movie. But at this point, it wasn't even my movie, and we'll call it Modern Girls, and it'll be about nightclubs. So he hired a gal named Laurie Craig, and she was, I don't think she'd really written too much about it previously, and she just followed me to clubs. So she followed me around to clubs, and we went for a wild night. We went to have the Blue Drink out of the Blue Room downtown, and we went to the Dirt Box that got raided, and all the different Glam Slam, all the different clubs in the course of the evening, and Power Tools, and that's what the movie was that she ended up writing about. The thing is, when it came to, well, first of all, I wanted to direct the movie, and I was not allowed to direct it. They brought in Jerry Kramer, who had, at that time, he did the making of Thriller, and it was a guy, it was sort of before women were directing, it was before Susan Seidelman. There really weren't any women directors at that time. I would have liked to have directed it. I will say that during the shooting of it, all the girls kept coming to me and going, Anita, I wish you were directing the movie. Jerry just didn't have a clue about how to direct girls going to clubs, because that wasn't his world. But he made the movie, it got made. Gary Getzman, who produced it, is actually Tom Hanks' partner. He makes all the movies with Tom Hanks. He's a very quality guy. He did that, what was that mobster movie he did? It was really good, the one with Michelle Pfeiffer. Married to the Mom? He produced that. I thought it was a pretty terrific film. But anyway, one last story. So when we were casting, we were trying to get the girls, and I liked Virginia. At that time, Virginia Madsen was sort of the hot 18, 19-year-old kind of starlet that was in a lot of films. And I was friends also with Sarah Jessica Parker at that time, and she came in red, and Jerry Kramer didn't think she was pretty enough, so she didn't get the part. And then also Meg Ryan came in red, and she was just wacky. She was on a soap opera, and he didn't think she was pretty enough either. And she read the whole time with her head upside down on a chair. She was just so kooky and so fun, and it's like, but he hired Cindy Gibb, because she had done TV movies, and Daphne Zuniga was okay. Daphne at that time did The Sure Thing. So, was trying to find people that were like, had their hot moment at the time, and Clayton had just come off of she's one of the guys,
Just one of the guys.
Just one of the guys, he just come off of that. So yeah, everyone had their one little moment. It was a really fun shoot. It was just like a giant party. We were talking earlier that all the extras in it were like real club kids. I mean, the outfits they wore, they really wore. Nobody kind of had to get faux dressed up. And it was just like having a nonstop party. It was just a really fun movie to make, and maybe that's why people like it, because it seems like it was fun, because it really was fun.
How involved were you once the film was in production?
Well, I was an extra in every scene. So, I mean, I was on the set, and I was there, and it was a little frustrating to me having, I went to film school and had made movies, and I didn't have a lot to do on the set, so I cast all the extras, and I was an extra in every scene, so maybe you guys can see me. Like, I'm on the tour bus on top, and I'm a disco dancer in black light, and in the bathroom, I got my hair all boofed up. I literally am in every scene as an extra, and that kept it interesting for me, so. That's it. I think I quit. I think everyone's ready to see the movie now.
No, I bet we still have questions. So after you made this movie, you made a movie with Charlie Mann.
Well, I got to direct a movie, finally. I directed Assault of the Killer Bimbos.
Woo!
So that's the movie I'm actually really proud of, because it was my movie. So maybe we'll have a screening of that coming up. And Nick Cassavetes is in that movie.
Woo!
It was funny, I had can I depart on
please, go for it.
So on Assault of the Killer Bimbos, what happened was, we were talking earlier, Charlie had made a movie and used the title, and he thought, I got a title that's better than the movie, so he changed that movie to called it Hack 'em High, and he just came to me, he knew who I was, and he had known some of the short films I did, and said, I have a title for you, Assault of the Killer Bimbos, and honestly, I was insulted at first. I was like, I don't know where, but then, I really love Russ Meyer movies, and I love Faster Pussycat Kill. And I thought, if I could just rip off the storyline of Go-Go Dancers on the Run, Framed for Murder, and call it Assault of the Killer Bimbos, I'll make this movie. So I rented all the Roger Corman, Steamy Girl Shower movies, and I just tried to make it like kind of my version of those. Actually, it was on Joe Bob Briggs' Drive-In Theater afterwards, and he was comparing how Thelma and Louise had ripped us off. Everyone was going, you should sue them. But in Thelma and Louise, there were dialogue lines lifted from the Bimbos and character names like Peaches and things. It was kind of a little freaky and weird, even though it was a very different film. But anyway, so I had a part for 3 surfer guys, so I knew a guy named Jamie Bozian, and he brought his friends Griffin O'Neill and Nick Cassavetes in. And at that time, Nick wasn't really acting too much. He certainly wasn't directing, and they had no dialogue. And I said, you cannot have these 3 actors who are kind of well-known, even at that time, and not let them say anything. You can't just let them drive around a car and smoke pot and have smoke coming out and not talk. So there's no dialogue, and they just kind of winged it. It was really fun. They were really pretty funny. I know Nick showed up on the first day. I mean, he has dark hair, and he bleached it, and it turned orange. So he kind of had this orange hair the whole shoot. And that was a really fun film to do.
I have another question about Modern Girls.
Okay.
The music, the movie's so music-fueled. I was wondering if you knew anything about the music selection or anything with that.
I had nothing to say about, in the 80s it was real specific music, and Tom Coleman, who owned Atlantic, had a gal that did all the soundtracks for him, and she put it together. I thought she did a really good job, actually. I was surprised at the caliber of music they got for this film, because budget wasn't that big for the film to begin with. And I was really happy. They had a soundtrack album. It was really impressive. I was pretty excited about it.
Do we have any questions in the audience?
Actually, I was wondering what your favorite scene is in the movie. If you have like a favorite scene.
God. I don't know. Let me watch it again and then I'll answer you. It's been a while.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have a. I mean, the thing that was probably the most true to life in the movie and in the script was that the idea. I think it's the Margot character, and she's always trying to pick. It's like looking for Mr. Right, and it's like if this guy, if I had this quality from this guy, and this quality from this guy, and this quality from that guy, I'd have the perfect guy. And that was kind of where I was at that time. And I was showing my scrapbook, and it's all full of ex-boyfriends that I hired to do stuff on the movie, like behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. And that was kind of one of the themes that I think I most resonated with was that idea. I'll tell you one more story though that was neat. There's a guy named Peter Dobson who was a special extra in the movies. And what happened was I got a call from one of my old boyfriends who said, I have a friend who just moved here from New York. His name's Peter Dobson, and would you put him in your movie? And he hadn't done anything. So I said, well, have him come down and we'll let him be an extra. And then he came down and he was the most gung-ho extra. He was in every scene and he brought all new wardrobe so he could be someone different in every scene. And so we let him be what's called a special extra, meaning we had extra camera time on him. He still didn't get to say anything because he wasn't in SAG. But you know what? And soon after that he was in The Married Man with Alec Baldwin, and then he had his own TV show.
That's insane.
Now, haven't seen him in a while, but I just, when I talk to people that come to town to want to be actors, I always tell them the Peter Dobson story, because he was just so enthusiastic. He just went above and beyond the Call of Duty. Every day he'd show up with a whole thing of clothes behind his like as if he really had a real part in the movie. It was very cute, so maybe you'll see him as a special extra throughout the film.
Any more questions from the audience?
How was the premiere? Like, how was the first?
The premiere of that. I was thinking of the other film. I don't remember about where the premiere was. Gosh, I don't remember at all. Sorry. I know we must have had one. Okay. Yeah?
Have you actually seen this film?
Yes, actually last month it was on cable, and I was flipping through the channels, and I watched a little, and I couldn't bring myself to watch the whole thing. I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes you listen to people that are actors, and they say, "Oh, I can't sit and watch my own movie." I don't know what it is. I'm going to watch some of it. Let's see if I can watch the whole thing.
Adam?
I think it's that it was a certain moment in a certain time, and you kind of grown from there, and it's kind of like you kind of cringe, like looking at it back, maybe? I don't know. I can't do the bimbo either. I can't watch the whole thing of that either, so it's not just this. But at least I have two movies that I can't watch the whole thing of. So that's good.
Great.
Are we done?
Yeah, well, I have one last question.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I am a feng shui expert. I've been studying Chinese metaphysics for the last 10 years, so I'm a Batsi astrology master, Chinese astrology, and I do feng shui. So if anybody needs their shui fund, there you go. Enjoy the movie. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. And a quick reminder to please be on your best behavior. So that means no talking through the movie, no cell phones. That means no talking on your cell phones, no texting on your cell phones, no checking the time on your cell phone. Otherwise, please have a good time.